But this is your path. This is literally why you're here. And there's something that's happening right now, if that sounds like you, that is happening for you. It is happening for you, not to you. It is here to support your expansion. It is here to initiate you into who you are truly meant to be, your true authentic essence that exists within you, so that you can actually experience the maximum amount of pleasure in this lifetime. And welcome back to the Essence Show and Podcast. I am so happy that you are here. This is the show and podcast that is brought to you by the Energetic Success Studio, our very own sacred community and coaching collective for harnessing the magic of your energetics for a life based in pleasure and epic success. Today, we are talking all about the foundations and the fundamentals of living a life of pleasure and how you can tap into this pleasure priority principle, which is a huge thing that we talk about here in energetics, in the studio, in coaching, all of the things, specifically during Taurus season. So we talk a lot about cyclical energy, cyclical living here, and the seasons and the cycles of the cosmos, so of astrology, of the zodiac wheel, are part of those seasons that we go through every single year, and they contain specific energetics and certain energies that you can use and activate in your life to rest more, to enjoy more, but also to work better, to have more productivity. So a lot of the things that I talk about, and anyone who's on my weekly mailing list, every single Friday I send out a cyclical living report. I call it a cyclical living wrap up, and I go through exactly what the energies of the seasons are doing, what the energies of the moon is doing for that week, because you can actually use those energies, because we're all affected by the energies around us, to know when to work, when to rest, when to be productive, when to activate things, when to plan, when to execute, all of those things. So that's going to be what I'm talking about a little bit more in depth today, specifically for the energy of Taurus season. If you're new to astrology, welcome. This is a safe space for you. I'm not sitting here expecting you to know everything by any means. That is what I'm here for. But all you need to know really is that Taurus season is the second season of the zodiac wheel. We just started a new year with Aries season, the start of spring. So the spring equinox actually kicked us off for the new cycle, and that's really all you need to know. And then you can just listen today and learn how you can use these energies for the next month, and then you can come back here next month and I'll tell you about the next one. So easy peasy, right? So what I want to start off with by saying here is I want to give you a little news flash, and the news flash is this: pleasure is your purpose. This is literally the reason why you are here. This is the reason that you are here on this earth, is to experience pleasure, to experience fulfillment in your life, to experience the emotions of joy and expansion and abundance. That is why you are here. And I get it. It might feel hard to believe if you are going through a tougher phase in your life right now, or you're in a really busy and maybe stressful season, and you feel like the world and the universe potentially are stacked against you, and you're like, why is this happening to me? Why is this coming up for me? Why can't I just be in a place where things feel easy? Trust me, I get that. And it's not maybe feeling as expansive as you want it to in this moment right now, but this is your path. This is literally why you're here. And there's something that's happening right now, if that sounds like you, that is happening for you. It is happening for you, not to you. It is here to support your expansion. It is here to initiate you into who you are truly meant to be, your true authentic essence that exists within you, so that you can actually experience the maximum amount of pleasure in this lifetime. Because when you go through those experiences, what do? You create an even more solid foundation to ground yourself on, which allows you and enables you to actually root in order to rise. We need to root down in order to rise up, to expand, to create success. We need to have that solid foundation. So I want you to remember this, and I want you to keep this in your mind throughout this entire episode and beyond, that you are here on this earth, in this lifetime, in this human body experience, in order to experience this expansiveness, in order to experience this abundance, and in order to experience pleasure. You get to feel good. And when we start to practice a life that is based in pleasure, that is based in feeling good, and we're going to talk more about how you can do that in this episode, that's where you start to become magnetic to success. And even when things do feel hard, you have a system that supports you in continuing to expand regardless of what's happening around you. So let's talk a bit more about what Taurus season is all about. So Taurus, like I said, is the second season in the zodiac wheel. Doesn't really matter if you know this or not, or if you remember this or not, but I'm going to tell you how you can use it. So here are some of the themes of Taurus. First of all, Taurus is an earth element, which means that already, if we just think about what earth kind of represents to us, it's groundedness. It's a bit more cooler. It's also really stable. So there might be like a little bit of like, this is how it is, and like, I'm not changing my mind here. So a little bit of stubbornness. There's patience to it. It's slow moving, but there's persistence in how it shows up. There's grounded action, really embodying something for yourself in your body before moving forward. Like, it's very much grounded, slow moving, and stabilized. There's also a really beautiful element, I find, of focus to Taurus season. Because we're moving slow, we can really sink our teeth into something. We can really get focused on what's in front of us. And Taurus season is this energy of moving slower, slowing down, so we can get into our bodies so that we can experience this pleasure. Does that make sense? Do you see how I'm already starting to talk a little bit slower right now? I'm like, wow, it's not even Taurus season yet as I record this, and I'm like getting in the zone of it. So here's how we can work with these energies. So the energy, like I said, is really slow moving embodiment. So slow and steady wins the race. That's what I want your mantra to be. When it comes to working in Taurus season, it's really time for you to sink your teeth into a project, sink your teeth into planning, sink your teeth into starting to get pieces moving on one specific thing. This isn't necessarily the time to like start and initiate a bunch of new things or pack your schedule with a million different, commitments and events and friend gatherings and family commitments and everything that you kind of decide you want to do, like the salsa class and the art class and blah, 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 blah. No. We want to come back to slow and steady. What is really going to fill me up right now? And I'm going to do that one thing. And when I do that one thing, I focus on being in that one thing. Do you notice the difference in that energy? Like I said, this is a really great time to work on one specific project at a time. So any kind of time blocking tools or work blocks or project planning within that one specific task is most likely going to feel really, really good and nourishing and supportive. When it comes to play and pleasure, because what we just talked about was really like showing up in work, I really want you to practice anything that enables you and encourages you and supports you in being in your body. Really getting into like feeling your body, connecting with your body. Maybe that's like a yoga class or a hot yoga class or a sound healing or Reiki or acupuncture, something that connects you with that, any kind of tools like that. Maybe a static dance, going to a salsa class. Being in nature, any kind of grounding exercises. So walking with your feet barefoot in the grass now that the weather's getting warmer, feeling the sunshine on your face. What allows you to feel sensations in your body? This is also a really great time for play and pleasure, to be connected with hot, juicy sex and any kind of sexual, sensual practices that you can embody or practice. And I really want to just add a little preface here that if you're feeling like the connection to your body is not something that you're used to, and I see you and I hear you and I feel you because I very much resonate with that as well, where you don't feel safe expressing yourself potentially in a sexual situation or with yourself, even alone, you don't feel safe kind of touching yourself or feeling into your body, there's probably something there around your nervous system. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel safe to be in your body. And so instead of forcing yourself to make that feel safe, and usually any kind of force or pressure becomes a false sense of safety because you're just trying to get there and achieve something, I want to encourage you to go back and watch the NLP video that I have, the episode from last week, because I talk more about safety in your body. You need to feel safe in your body first before you can start connecting with these practices. Otherwise, you're going to feel, again, like you're forcing it. It's not going to feel safe. That connection isn't going to be there, and there might be a disconnect, or also you might start to actually trigger old trauma responses because you don't feel safe in your body, and you're kind of forcing yourself to like go from 0 to 100 as opposed to 0 to 10. So the mindset that I want to give you around this season, around this energy, and around pleasure. So again, if you are listening to this, it's not Taurus season, it doesn't matter. I want you to embody this practice and this principle no matter what time of year this is, no matter what is happening in your life, no matter what season we're in. This pleasure practice, I want you to make this your priority, because once again, pleasure is your purpose. You are here to experience pleasure. You are here to be in this experience of feeling good, of feeling fulfillment in your life. So it doesn't matter what time of year this is. It doesn't matter what season that you're in. This is the mindset to tap into, and here's how you can start doing that. I want you to ask yourself, how can I make this thing that's in front of me, this task, this chore, this to-do, this day even, more pleasurable? How could I infuse even more pleasure into this experience? What would make this experience even more yummy, even more juicy, even more fun, even more playful? How can I feel more pleasure? And asking yourself that question, you're already setting yourself up with like, ooh, it felt good asking that, right? You're like, ooh, pleasure. Like, okay, who is she? Like, what do we want to do? And that allows you to already shift into an energy of receiving, an energy of feeling good without even having to do like a whole lot of thinking about it. And the answers start to come from that energetic space. So you think, ooh, it would feel really good to like have a fancy coffee right now, or to make a nice little matcha, or to play some fun background music, or to light a bunch of candles, or to go outside and get in some sunshine, vitamin D before I sit down and do some work. Like, what would make this experience even more pleasurable? And one of the things that I love so much about this, and I talk about this a lot in the studio, is that pleasure comes from the little moments, right? And success actually comes from those little moments of experiencing pleasure, because we can have the same exact feeling sitting in a beautiful field somewhere on an afternoon, stepped away from our busy job in the city or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to make that next income goal, or I'm just trying to like get to my next month of rent, or living paycheck to paycheck. Like, you can be there and sitting in your field and experiencing 5 minutes of pleasure on your Sunday afternoon with your picnic, with your person beside you, enjoying the sun, the same way as someone else can be sitting on their yacht, soaking up the sun with their person beside them, doing the same thing, feeling the exact same emotion. Different experience, different physical, surrounding, but same experience. Doesn't mean that you don't still want to work towards goals and create things in your life, but I want you to just take in the fact that you get to have pleasure and you get to experience it no matter what's going on in your surroundings. So that is a question that you can start to take with you and start working to make pleasure your top priority. And really setting that intention to infuse this yumminess into everything that you do as much as possible. So I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can really start to use the energy of the season, but just in general, fundamentally, how you can start tapping into pleasure. Number 1, get into your body. Like I said before, do something that engages your body. Go to a workout class, go to a dance class, go be in nature, go be with your person, have some steamy hot sex, have some fun, sensual alone time by yourself, go to an aesthetic dance class, or like I said, salsa, or whatever it is that makes you feel good in your body. Number 2, sensuality and sexuality. This is a big energy this season because it is embodiment. It's being in tune with your body, in tune with your desires. And of course, desires doesn't just mean sexual, sensual desires, but that comes from that womb space, from your sacral chakra. That is the space of desire. So tapping into your inner sensual and sexual desires actually starts to activate creativity and flow from other desires. Okay. And again, you don't need to have a partner to do this. You don't need to have physical sex to do this. It could literally be putting on some sexy lingerie underneath your normal work clothes and just like having a little bit of fun with yourself with that. Like, ooh, like I'm feeling good right now because like I have this little secret and like I'm feeling good about it. And that is enough. And number 3, play. Play is the way to pleasure. How can you have more playfulness in your day? And I want to encourage you to tap into nature for this. Taurus, again, is the season that really connects us with embodiment, with groundedness and nature, like the physical ground that we live on. And so this is a really great way to say, how can I get outside and play? Like, can I go to a park and like play with my dog, or take a Frisbee to the park next time with a friend, or go just sit in the park and have a picnic, or go to the river somewhere and have an ice cream. Like where is there play that's happening in my life? Where can I do something fun that like my inner child would have loved? So to wrap us off, I'm going to give you a really, really short 2-minute visualization meditation. So I'm going to ask you to close down your eyes. We're really going to tap into your pleasure. So closing down your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and breathing out, and just noticing where you are in the room, in your home, outside, in your car, wherever you're listening to this. Make sure it's a safe space for you to actually close down your eyes and get quiet for a couple minutes. And I want you to bring to mind your favorite place that has all your favorite things. And this might be an actual, real, physical place that you've been to, or it might be a place that only exists in your mind. Both are perfect. And I want you to see yourself actually being in this place right now. See your surroundings. Take in all the colors. Take in all the sounds. Notice who's with you. Notice how you're feeling in your body. If there's a warmth or a coolness, a tingling. See if there's a smile creeping across your face. And I want you to just pull into your mind's eye one thing that you see right now in your surroundings. Just one thing. What do you see? One thing that feels really good. And now take a deep breath in and tell me one thing that you smell in your surroundings. Say it to yourself. What do you smell? And now moving your tongue around in your mouth a little bit, what do you taste when you're in this perfect favorite place? What do you taste? Name the taste. And now noticing what you hear around you. What's one sound that you hear in your favorite place? And finally, what do you feel? Do you feel something beneath you? Are you sitting on something? And then what do you feel in your heart, in your chest, in your body? Where do you feel it? Is it an expansive feeling of warmth? Is it a tingling feeling? Is it wrapping you up, or is it staying in one specific place? Feel into it now. And take a deep breath into this pleasure, into your favorite place, into this favorite space. And as you open your eyes, bring this feeling back with you into your day now, into the rest of your day. And welcome back. So this is a really, really easy, simple exercise that you can do to tap into pleasure. And you can literally do it in your actual surroundings if you're feeling like you're in a safe space. Like I will literally do it on a Sunday afternoon while I'm hanging out with my boyfriend or having a coffee with a friend, and really just taking in the pleasure of that moment by noticing my 5 senses. So this is the fundamentals of tapping into your pleasure, of making pleasure a priority in your life, because this is where expansion happens. So if you are ready to make pleasure your priority in your life, just think about what your life would be like, right? Think about waking up in the morning without that dread, without that anxiety, without that standard stress that instantly comes up as soon as you open your eyes, thinking about the day and everything you need to do. And instead, what if you moved slowly through your day? What if you had time with your family, with your kids, with your loved ones, with your partner? Having a slow morning, having time for yourself throughout the day, being able to organize when you work and when you rest and when you play, and moving slowly, and really being able to tap into productivity whenever you want to tap into it, so that you really have so much space and expansive time in your day and energy to really just enjoy more, to be more in your pleasure. And noticing how your work flows. And what if that was a reality for you, right? What if your reality was literally, the more pleasure I have, the more my work expands. The more pleasure I have, the better quality my work is. The more pleasure I have, the more productive I become. And the more pleasure I have, the more success I magnetize, because my energy determines what I attract. Like, what if that was your reality? What would that even look like? Can you think about that right now? Can you feel that? This is literally the work that I do, and this is why we're talking about it here, and this is actually what I've created for myself, because pleasure is the priority in my life, and I am fully freaking 1000% committed to supporting you and doing the same. So if you are ready to create that reality in your life, if you are ready to really infuse and harness your pleasure for your success, one-on-one coaching is where we dive into really recreating your strategy for success through your energetics, so that you can create epic success with less stress and overwhelm, and create a life that is based in pleasure without sacrificing yourself or your well-being for the grind for this version of success, because that's not fun. And that's not why you're here, right? We already talked about it. You are here to experience pleasure. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next week.